Darvin, I guess let's start with the last sequence. LeBron gets loose and get a really good look, and then just take me through what you saw from there.
Well, they came down and they wanted to get their two best players into action, which they did. And, Jamal Murray hit a tough shot. AD fading away, baseline to his right. AD outstretched arm, great contest. Kid hit a tough shot.
You guys now 2 games in a row offensively in the second half. They've turned up. They've gone to a different place defensively. What weren't you guys able to get to against their adjustments, and what needs to change moving forwards for you guys second half?
Once we watch the game, we'll figure that out. Again, we played a solid basketball game defensively through 3 quarters. That's a tough team. Like you gotta come with it. You can't take any possession off. Ball gets knocked around, falls into Michael Porter Jr.'s hands. He hits a 3 for them. So we got to be on deck at all times versus this ball club. Offensively, we got some good stuff. Ron had it going. D'Lo had going from 3. We'll be better from this. Definitely be better from it. But they did what they were supposed to do. They held serve. Again, it's not the first to 1, 2, or 3. It's the first to 4. We just got to go home and do the same, starting with game 3.
Darvin, this was about, obviously, as heartbreaking losses you can kind of have with the buzzer beater. And you've been on the other side of that, I'm sure, other times in your career. What's the key to bouncing back in the next 72 hours and kind of just wiping the slate with this one?
Making it about work and knowing that you still have abundance of life. You still have an abundance of life. But we got to make it about the work and keep it about the work. It's tough. Some tough calls, some tough non-calls. But, you can't use any of that as an excuse. You got to go out there and be ready to make plays, whether the whistle gets blown or not. It's getting real tricky. Go through the season games being officiated one way, and then you get in the playoffs, and then it's like, I guess it's left to the interpretation of the 3 individual guys that's doing the job out there. But all that said, you just have to know that, it stings. Remember this feeling as we take it back home to L.A., and we got to give them that same feeling in game 3. We can't, that needs to be the sole focus. Recovery process has to start now. Let's filling our cups back up. But game 3, it's all about game 3 right now.
Darvin, AD had the 14 straight makes on Jokic. They switched the coverage and had Gordon on him, and then he got in the foul trouble and couldn't defend. Jokic one-on-one as much. When that changed, what were you trying to see and what were you trying to get to? So AD guarding Jokic, right, wasn't able to as much the foul trouble late, and then they switched the matchup to put Gordon on him after he was scoring so easily on Jokic.
Yeah, they're just trying to. I feel like Aaron Gordon is their best defender, along with KCP, but especially along the front line. So they did what we did. We wanted to put AD on him and start the game, and as much as possible. He wasn't allowed to. Anyway. So I can see that was their course of action in terms of putting Gordon on him.
As much as this game stings, how helpful was it to see D'Lo have the game that he had, making 7 threes and getting that slump he's been in against this specific team over the past year or so?
Well, I mean, he did exactly what I thought he'd do. He had a tough shooting that game 1. He went back to the drawing board, put his work in, came out firing away tonight. It's a tough one to come up on the short end of the stick because of that performance that he had beyond 3-point line. But it's playoff basketball, man. You separate yourself by doing it over and over and over again.
Then AD, you having to sub him out because he had the foul trouble. Where do you think the offense has shifted for you guys? When you had the 68-48 lead, there was a lot of flow, and then from there, even in the 4th, a lot of the stuff you got was kind of individual play from LeBron, individual play from AR, that the baseline. Like, what was Denver doing to get into your offense at that point?
I mean, we were trying to take advantage of certain matchups and bring certain guys within their defense to put them into action. Sometimes when you do that, it works out smooth. Sometimes, you don't finish the play. And by that, I mean, we get the matchup that we want. They have a double team or something. Someone is left open. miss an open shot or miss a point-blank layup. Things like that happen. So you just got to try to weather that storm. One thing about it, you just got to continue to make the right plays and make quick decisions. I can't hear you.
Gut-wrenching loss. In the next 2 days before the next game Thursday, do you feel you are going to be as much a between the ears guy to your team with your experiences, X's and O's? Because you can point to 17 different things in a one-point game.
Well, it was a point where we had full control of the game. We can't forget that. And we just got to finish. We did a good job initiating. We did a good job sustaining, but we didn't finish well. So the biggest thing for us is to finish it. And the intangible things, you know, taking care of the ball, being great defensive transition and keeping them off the offensive glass. We just got to keep pounding that, but still go back home with a belief that, you know, they still have to win one on our floor if they at all possibly can. And so for me, the focus is, as much as this one hurts and stings, our mind's always flipping to the next thing. What's in front of us now? And what's in front of us is game 3. And we come out and compete, get the type of defensive effort we did in that first half, majority of that third quarter. We'll be okay. We just got to fine-tune some things as we go down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Darvin, taking the 20-point lead early in third, you feel like a lot of the adjustments that you made worked, and those are things that you can now apply into game 3 and moving forward?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't have a remedy for foul trouble, eliminate your player, takes all the aggression away. It is what it is, but, you know, this is done, it's in the books. So now, again, we start the process of preparing game 3, and we just got to come focused and looking.
Austin, how do you guys handle that emotionally just considering everything tonight, how hard you fought to get the lead and just all of the kind of crazy moments down the stretch that end in another loss?
You move on to the next game. You know, they protected their home court. We got to go do the same.
Did you see anything once the matchup switched a little bit, like they moved Joker off AD on the one end and he wasn't able to guard him as much on the other end? Did you see things switch for that, and what were you guys trying to do to respond?
We come to halftime, we got a couple good possessions with AD Bron pick and roll. And then they made a good adjustment and they kind of, you know, bogged us down. And, you know, obviously scoring 40 points in the second half, 20 and 20, it's not going to cut it.
Austin, just to follow up on that, you hit a 3 to put you guys up 20 with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. From that point on, you guys only scored 31 points. I guess kind of what did you see with the adjustments they made, but then you guys also not necessarily executing or running your offense the same way?
I'll have to go back and watch the game to you know, answer that, the honest answer. Right now, I'm frustrated with the loss, but I don't want to give you a wrong answer. So it's really.
Austin, you guys are a confident team, and you've been a confident team. You guys played well enough to build big leads now in both of these games, and have struggled enough to lose them. Where is, I guess, your overall confidence right now out of these 2 games? I know they say series doesn't start until the team loses at home, but it feels like this is a big one today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we win this one, we're, you know, got momentum going back home. But, you know, I don't think that changes anything the way we approach games. We, you know, can go back and watch the film on both games, see what we did to, you know, take command of those games, and then we can see what we did to, you know, in better words, lose those games. So we'll have to go do that and, you know, put a full 48 together.
A bunch of you guys have talked to us about needing to stay vigilant against this team, kind of no matter what lead you have. It's not necessarily safe. What was the feeling like tonight in the fourth, where, you know, it became something like a 3 or 4 point game, and it was just kind of trading buckets the rest of the way, just being in that hyper intense competitive nature for the final 9 minutes of the quarter? What's that like?
I mean, that's what you know, grow up to, you know, want to do in big games, is be in those situations and, you know, be competing against, you know, a hell of a ball team. And like you said, in in crunch time and, have opportunities to make plays to win games. And, we just didn't make enough plays tonight. But, I thought actually down the stretch, the last, 3 or 4 possessions, we got, exactly what we wanted on the offensive end. And then they come down and made a couple tough buckets.
Austin, I think D'Lo, AD, and LeBron had 81 of your guys 99 tonight. And how much do you, Rui, and some of the bench guys feel just a little bit more pressure, maybe not pressure, but just a responsibility to contribute maybe a little bit more going forward for you to come out on top of these games?
Yeah, obviously, I got to be better, scoring the ball, be more aggressive. Got a couple good looks in the first quarter that didn't fall, and that's on me, and I got to be better. But it's a team effort, and like I said, we'll watch the film and get better from it.
Austin, when you lose a heartbreaking game like that where you lead by 20, is it accurate or fair to say the next 24, 48 hours will be one of the bigger challenges mentally and emotionally, not to focus on just one play or this thing?
To me, a loss is a loss. Obviously, giving up a 20-point lead in the third quarter, it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that we lost. We're down 0-2, and we're going back to LA to, try to protect our home court and tie this thing up 2-2. So you can't really, at this point, dwell on really what's happened. You got to move past it and, buckle down and figure out what you can do to, like I said, sustain those leads that we have been able to, get a hold of.
From the media.
LeBron, after you hit those 2 threes, despite everything that happened at that point, you're up 8, and I think they had one more miss and then hit 7 straight shots down the stretch. What did you see from them execution-wise? How consistent is that with what they've been, and how do you guys take that after being up as big as that you were?
We know they're a great offensive power team. We know they're going to get into a rhythm at some point when they're going to make runs, especially on their home floor. Just have to withstand, and I think we did. Obviously, we get a 20-point lead, and it's unfortunate, but 20-point leads in this league is not safe, especially against a defending champion. We got to do better with that, but we got our chances.
Team you play on is its own individual team. Every season is its own individual season. That said, you've been a part of teams that have come back from all sorts of different deficits in a series. Where does your mind go down 0-2 headed back to LA?
Protect home. That's where my mindset goes, and obviously the only game that matters now is game 3, and how we can get better, how we can figure the team out. So game 3 is where my mindset is.
It's hard to come by for you guys, really most of the second half, but particularly in the fourth quarter. You had something going. What did you see in the look at the top, the key that was your last shot attempt?
I had a wide open look and it rimmed out. It rimmed in, rimmed out. So.
LeBron, in the third quarter, when they start to kind of slowly get back in the game, where did you see the offense start to really sputter for you guys? I think only 40 points in the second half, and it felt like you guys were attacking the basket, not finishing, maybe a little bit around.
Yeah, we missed shots. We got to score versus team. We missed shots. We still got great looks. We just missed them, and they made.
As tough as a loss like this is, how helpful was to see D'Lo have the night he had, and just how much more confidence does that give you guys in him that he bounced back the way that he did in game 2?
We never lost confidence in him. D'Lo's D'Lo tonight. It's great to see it.
LeBron, do you feel like you guys made several adjustments that worked and that you can carry over into game 3?
Every game is its own challenge. Because we did something well tonight, doesn't mean it's automatically going to work in game 3. That's what the game is all about in the postseason. Teams make adjustments from game to game. So, we just have to come in with the mindset, okay, this is his own game. Game 1 is over, game 2 is over. We have that. This is his own game, and we have to, we have a game plan. We need to execute it.
Last question, Kurt.
LeBron, over the next 48 hours when you're looking at film and getting ready for that game Thursday, what's the challenge mentally and emotionally after you lose such a heartbreaking game?
I mean, yeah, of course it's a heartbreaking game. You never want to lose in that fashion. I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly is hit in the face on the drive. What the fuck do we have a replay center if it's going to go? It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that shit is like... And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers-Knicks game, too.
Counted the most from the Nuggets to the Lakers now. Anthony Davis with 32 points, 11 rebounds. Here he is next.
AD, obviously you were having a lot of success with the matchup going at Jokic and defending him on the other end. As the second half emerges, they get the foul trouble, and they switch Gordon over to you. Did you feel like that you still had the opportunities, though, that what that opened up for LeBron, and how did you just see that play out as the fourth quarter goes down and you see the Nuggets kind of hitting shot after shot?
I don't know. I mean, I have to go back and look at it, but we had something working with pick and roll. Just trying to put Jokic in the pick and roll and Michael Porter, and had some success in doing so. That's what we went to in the second half.
How do you take this back to Los Angeles mentally?
Win game 3. That's simple. Just win game 3.
You guys were defending champs in the first round in 2021 with a series lead, and the other team was able to complete comeback, Phoenix. Do you draw on anything like that? I mean, is there any part of your career that you draw on in this situation to just put yourself in the right space to be able to lead these guys to, keep this series extending?
Got to focus on game 3. We've shown that we're more than capable. We have stretches where we just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. And those ones that cost us. So we got 2 days to get it right and come ready to win game 3 Thursday.
They switched their coverages after you guys went up 20, where they moved Aaron Gordon onto you, they moved Jokic on Rui. Did you guys try to did you guys try to counter that in any way? Did you feel like you could find anything against that? And I guess how much credit would you give that switch for the offense kind of from that point really through the end, never really catching any real rhythm?
We got great looks we missed. Still try to do what we were doing before with the ball screens, put Jokic in ball screens, and it was working for us. And we didn't score. We didn't score in the second half. We didn't score 40 points.
D'Lo bounced back after a tough game 1, making 7 threes. Obviously, you guys maintain confidence in him just as much after last game, but how helpful was it to see that? And I guess give confidence that he'll be able to replicate this performance, in game 3 going forward.
I mean, good. I mean, bounce back game came out, shot the ball extremely well. We'll need the same thing in game 3.
AD, they went 7 for 7 over the final 4 minutes. I guess without being able to look at the film and kind of evaluate it in the moment, did it feel like you guys were playing pretty good defense and it was just tough shot making by them, or did you feel like you guys had some breakdowns there in crunch time?
Made some tough shots.
played pretty good defense and made some really tough shots.
To kind of piggyback off that one, can you take us through that last play and just what happened and what unfolded? And what was, I don't know if you were screened or what happened that last play.
Jamal Murray made a shot.